Coming up, the bounty is out on 10 most wanted in the Super Derby. We'll take a stroll in the Jamaica Handicap. Hawkish headlines a tough group at Los Alamitos. And a Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championship meeting is set to open this weekend in Southern California. It's a busy Long John Silver's Wire to Wire.
Long John Silver's Wire to Wire, presented by Citgo.
And there is Santa Anita. The Oak Tree meeting at Santa Anita opens on Sunday, and of course that's the host site for this year's Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships. Jeff Metters along with Randy Moss, but this weekend pretty quiet in thoroughbred racing.
Yeah, most of the big Breeders' Cup prep races are coming up next weekend at Belmont Park and at Oak Tree. So this past weekend, only 3 graded stakes races to bring you, but a couple of them are obviously worth looking at, and we'll start off with Sunday's Jamaica Handicap, $200,000 at Belmont Park, 3-year-olds mile and an eighth on the inner turf. The top 3 finishers in the Secretariat at Arlington were in this race: Kick and Chris, Joe Bear, and Lismore Knight. But watch the hedge. Jerry Bailey bursting through with the 7-5 favorite in the Claiborne Farm Gold. His name is Stroll.
Stroll's beginning to pull away. They're kicking Chris and Joe Bear, and they're coming down to the finish, and it will be Stroll. Stroll wins decisively by 2.5 on the line.
And Stroll is on a roll. That's 4 straight wins for the son of Pulpit, who's the little brother of Dallas Turf Cup winner Patrol. Those 4 straight wins include 3 stakes: the Lamplighter, the Hall of Fame at Saratoga, and now the Jamaica. Stroll is trained by Bill Mott. The Breeders' Cup Mile had not been on his agenda, and it may still be doubtful, but at least Stroll has shown himself worthy of consideration. He now has 12 Breeders' Cup points, which is enough to assure himself of a starting spot in the mile if that's what they want to do. Saturday, the Kentucky Cup Turf, 1.5 mile Kentucky Downs. A controversial finish. On the inside, Art Variety, Rafael Bejarano. In the middle, Robbie Alvarado on Quest Star. Defending champ Rochester on the outside, ridden by Eddie Martin Jr. Watch the middle, Robbie Alvarado. Steady slightly just before the wire. That's because Art Variety on the rail drifted out. After 2 foul claims against Art Variety was disqualified and placed 3rd. So the official order of finish: Rochester gets his 2nd straight Kentucky Turf win, Kentucky Cup Turf. Quest Star 2nd, Art Variety officially 3rd. Back to Belmont, Saturday's 1 mile Noble Damsel Handicap, fillies and mares. The favorite is the Gray, taking the lead. Dedication, the 9-5's choice. Something Ventured, though, takes over the lead now at this point from Dedication. But watch in the middle. In the middle, that is Wonder Again. On the far outside, Dan Cow. It's a blanket finish, but in the middle, Wonder Again sticks her neck in front, ridden by Edgar Prado. What a big, beautiful 4-year-old filly, and Wonder Again actually snapped a 5-race losing streak in here. Now trainer Jimmy Toner has got to decide what to do with her next. Maybe the Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf, but she would have to be an at-large selection by the Breeders' Cup committee because she doesn't have quite enough points to assure herself of a starting berth. Buyer Speed Figure 101. Finally brought to you by Washington's Emerald Downs, the Gottstein Futurity Sunday on the Washington Cup Day program, won by Washington-bred Corvallis D, ridden by Kevin Radke, trained by Bud Klokstad, and that's significant because Klokstad now has 7 wins in the Gottstein Futurity. Klokstad is Emerald Downs' all-time leading stakes trainer.
And by the way, the ESPN Pick 6 Challenge presented by Digiturf.com Virtual Horse Racing is in full swing. No winner in week number 5 will play for $1,200 this weekend. Just go to ESPN.com, click on Horse Racing to sign up. Now to Speedway, we have a lot of races going on, most happening at the Mecca in Southern California, Los Alamitos. Let's start with the trials in the Pacific Coast Quarter Horse Racing Association Breeders' Derby Trials. That is a mouthful. Valiantly was impressive. Here's what happened.
And away they go. And the one who came away the best was Valiantly down along the inside with Special Queen and Chicks Jet Set Baby, Susie Cartel and Chicky Cherry Cola. As Valiantly is now going on strongly, Susie Cartel, Chicks Jet Set Baby, Chicky Cherry Cola, and Special Queen all come after Valiantly, but it's going to be Valiantly to hold on to win. Tight Photo coming up for 2nd.
The PCQHRA Derby this year is worth about $107,000. What a difference a year makes. Valiantly, a filly by Corona Cartel, won the Futurity last year as a 46-to-1 long shot. She'll probably be the favorite, though, this year in the Derby final. She is the fastest qualifier. She's now won 5 in a row. Now for the Grade 3 Bayer Legend California Derby Challenge. Classy Sassy Chick was the favorite, but a stiff challenge would come from a Special Snowflow, who was also the fastest qualifier.
And away they go. And the one who came away the best was Classic Sassy Chick. I Ought to Be First is also right there. Down along the inside comes Sia Dash. Fortune First to the extreme outside. But it's Classic Sassy Chick clinging to a short lead. I Ought to Be First making a good run is a Special Snowflow down along the inside. And it's going to be a Special Snowflow to upset him here.
Don't mess with Donna MacArthur. She actually had 3 in the race, so you'd think her chances of winning would be pretty good. That is until you realize that trainer Paul Jones had 5 in the race. MacArthur wins it with a Special Snowflow. Jones ran 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 9th. Those trainers were busy. Sticking with the MBNA Racing Series, professional choice California Claiming Challenge Stakes. The 2 to watch here would be Pal's Eyes and Bobby's Dashin' Favorite.
And away they go. And a good start for Tolbar at Pal's Eyes, and Bobby's Dashin' Favorite are the 3 that came away the best. Down along the inside is Pal's Eyes. Bobby's Dashin' Favorite is running powerfully in the far outside as Bobby's Dashin' Favorite is now striding home best of all. And G.R. Carter and Bobby's Dashin' Favorite take the Professional Choice California Claiming Challenge.
Winners of a regional challenge race like this get the invite to a rich night of racing known as the MBNA America Challenge Championship. It touches all the bases in the industry, even the claimers. Bobby's Dashin' Favorite is owned by Karen Vickery and trained by her son Brett Vickery, who also trains the talented filly A.B. What a Runner. Now, we started this round of speed with the PCQHRA Breeders' Derby Trials. We end it with the Futurity Trials. Hawkins arrived with a 3-race win streak and a lot more.
And away they go. And another perfect start for Hawkeye. She's already a length in front. Long-stemmed Roses to the extreme outside with Not Another Corona. Down along the inside comes Summertime Fly as Hawkish is striding on powerfully. Alex Batista has a tight hold on him. Summertime Fly, though, making him run for the money as Hawkish wins it.
Hawkish has now won 4 in a row, and he's after his 3rd Futurity win of the year. He's already laid claim to the Ed Burke and the Kindergarten Futurities. The PCQHRA Futurity is worth $336,000. If Hawkish can win the Los Al Million in December, a little bit later this year, he will pick up a $1 million bonus. Still to come on Wire to Wire. Earlier this year, Lafitte Pinkai suffered a career-ending injury. Litigation appears to be next. The Oak Tree meeting is set to kick off on Sunday. And later, our race of the week, the Super Derby.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's. Boatloads of seafood are back. Citgo, we know you. The American Quarter Horse Association. Let freedom ride.
This weekend, it was all about long-range forecasting as you could go to the Breeders' Cup Future Wager number 3, 4 divisions there, and maybe get a good price on a horse that you think has a great chance.
Provided they wind up making it to the Breeders' Cup. That's
right.
always the key. The betting took place Friday through Sunday in the Bessemer Trust Breeders' Cup Juvenile Wagering. Cuvée, who we saw a week ago win the Futurity Stakes impressively at Belmont Park, he'll go straight into the Juvenile, and he is the early 7-2 favorite in that division.
Yeah, and in terms of the juvenile fillies, they were a little more decisive there at Half Bridle at 2-1.
The sensational filly owned by the Wertheimer Farm and trained by Richard Mandela, who runs this weekend at Oak Tree, is the clear-cut favorite there. Breeders' Cup filly mare Turf's a little more obtuse. Islington, 3rd in the race last year, is the 5-1 favorite in the early betting, but she is not at all certain to even come back for the Breeders' Cup. As a matter of fact, the most recent reports have her being pointed instead for the Japan Cup.
NetJets Breeders' Cup Mile, pretty tough here. The field basically getting most of the attention.
Over the American Special Ring and the European Sprinter Oasis Dream, the Bobby Frankel trained 3-year-old Peace Rules also in there at 9-1.
The Keeneland September sale is complete. 2,968 horses, nearly $274 million there. Averaged about $92,293 per head. Second best numbers in sales history. 2000 was actually better. Keep in mind there was no July sale. And helping those numbers, Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum spent $3.8 million for the Gone West filly. She's a daughter of Touch of Greatness, an unraced Heroes Honor mare. 2 lots broke the $3 million mark. A Danzig colt actually bought $3.6 million.
As we all know, racing's all-time leading jockey Lafitte Pinkai went down in a spill March 1st that was career-ending, according to his lawyer Neil Papiano. We can expect a lawsuit this week against the Huntington Ambulance Service at Santa Anita and 2 physicians employed by the track claiming misdiagnosis. Pinkai actually walked into the ambulance on his own power. 2 days later, he went to a doctor's office complaining of neck pain. That's when they found a fractured C2 vertebra that was potentially paralyzing. On the other side of the equation, the ambulance service says that Pinkai declined a trip to the hospital and declined more medical treatment.
In the end result, it did end his career. Other news, Candy Ride, who won the Pacific Classic, will not go to the Breeders' Cup Classic powered by Dodge.
And that decision made by trainer Ron McAnally, you can kind of read between the lines. After this sensational win in the Pacific Classic over Medallia de Oro, Beyer speed figure 123, he obviously came out of that race a very tired horse. No workouts since then. McAnally said the best thing for the future of the horse is to bypass the Breeders' Cup and look instead toward furthering his career next year. And anyway, if they had run him, he would have been an $800,000 supplement.
I still would have loved to have seen him run in the Classic. All right, back to speed. We'll get closer to Oklahoma. More spots to fill in the MBNA America Challenge Championship Series. It is the trials of the American Airlines Oklahoma Juvenile Challenge. Red Man Running wasn't fooling anybody. He was the overwhelming favorite, and he lived up to the hype.
Red Man Running opening up now and drawing clear by 3. Here is Red Man Running in front.
Red Man Running is a gelding by Okie Dokie Dale. He's trained by Eddie Willis, and jockey Larry Payne is always tough in the Sooner State. Speed index here, a 104. He'll be the likely favorite to get the invite to Los Al on November 1st. This final will be on October 5th. Now to the 3-year-olds in the Bayer Legend Challenge trial. Willis and Payne had the 6-horse Corona Coquette, who stumbled at the start, opening the door for full frontal assault.
Battle on the inside, PC, he's a Chico, Rock Joe Whirl is there. A late run from Royal Litigation, but on the outside now, full frontal assault gets the lead. Full frontal assault in front.
Corona Coquette was the favorite, but the start in American Quarter Horse Racing is where the race can be won or lost. The stumble here really dashed the party. Meanwhile, Full Frontal Assault came through with a driving finish, won by 3/4 of a length. He's the fastest qualifier. Has to win one more, though, to get the invite to Los Al. For more information on how you can become a Racing American Quarter Horse owner, just call 1-800-414-RIDE. Still ahead for us, Azari's coming to ESPN. We'll preview the Ladies' Secret, plus races from Belmont. It's a huge NTRA Great Stakes segment. Welcome back to Long John Silver's Wire to Wire. Sit-Go leaderboard looking at the horses that Frankel could saddle on World Thoroughbred Championship Day.
And a few points to make. Wild Spirit is not a Breeders' Cup nominee, so she may not go in the Breeders' Cup distaff. Peace Rules has been running a temperature, maybe a question mark for the Breeders' Cup Mile, and Megahertz still just a possible starter for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf.
And now for a perk that's usually reserved for our live shows on the weekend. Oak Tree World Thoroughbred Champions. We go back to 1993 and Eddie Delahousse.
Pasiana, I knew she was definitely the filly to beat, but I felt that Hollywood Wildcat was on top of her game, and if we were going to beat it, it was going to be that day, and it happened to be in the Breeders' Cup.
And Pasiana has a short lead, but Hollywood Wildcat is right there with her, and those two headlong into the final furlong together.
And I was going to reach and hit a Hollywood Wildcat, and I just lost my stick right there. So I just went to riding and screaming and hollering, hoping the wire would get there quick and we would be in front, and we did. But it was an awful feeling. I felt like a bug boy, an apprentice rider, just not knowing what I was doing and just throwing the whip away, it seemed like. But it was a great race.
Oak Tree World Thoroughbred Champions is presented by Oak Tree Racing Association, which opens its Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championship meeting this Sunday. Now, Sunday seems like a strange day to kick things off, but there is definitely a reason for that. So we asked Sherwood Chillingworth with the Oak Tree Racing Association to explain.
We went to Sacramento this summer and got approval to run an extra day on September 28th. We overlap on the Pomona meet, and on that day we have 4 graded stakes. 2 of those races will be televised nationally, including the Ladies' Secret. We're going to have a guaranteed pick 4 to finish up the day. And I think the excitement that has been created by Steve Biscuit and Breeders' Cup coming here will be carried through into this first day. And we're certainly looking forward to it.
And as we'll see in our NTRA Great Stakes segment, I mean, they start in a dead run, starting with the Lady Secret and the reigning horse of the year, Azeri.
You heard Sherwood. Televised nationally. That's us. We'll get a chance to see Azeri live for the very first time on ESPN. Last year's Horse of the Year winner of 11 straight. This is a handicap. She won the Lady Secret last year. In her last start, she carried 127 pounds. The weights aren't out yet as we tape this Tuesday morning for the Lady Secret, but you can expect her to pick up about a pound to carry 128.
She's kind of beating up on all of her friends out there on the West Coast. A new challenger, a youngster, Elo Love.
The 3-year-old filly trying Azeri for the first time. She won the Ashland Stakes at Keeneland earlier this year. Speed and Rail. Others expected to run in the Lady Secret got Cocoa, Adoration, and Tropical Blossom with Azeri, the overpowering favorite, probably in the 1 to 10 range.
In the Yellow Ribbon, Tate's Creek, who's just coming off a stretch where she'd won 4 in a row, all in graded stakes company.
And then she was beaten by Megahertz in her last start. That's her stablemate. But Megahertz will pass the race, so Tate's Creek trying 1.25 miles for the first time, expected to be a heavy favorite.
In the Oak Leaf, one of the top 2-year-old fillies in the country, half bridle.
She is 2 for 2. She'll be ridden by Julie Crone. Here she is winning the Del Mar Debutante. She's looking so strong that Bob Baffert's Victory USA will actually be shipped across the country to the Frizette at Belmont to stay away from half bridle until the Breeders' Cup.
And Johar will go in the Clement Hirsch.
Against a very weak field in the Clement Hirsch, to be quite frank. Storming Home is actually out there in California, but Neil Drysdale will send him east to Belmont Park, which we'll talk about in a minute, and that will leave Johar as the favorite probably in that spot.
So it is a very busy Sunday. 2 grade 1s, 2 grade 2s, and as he had mentioned, $400,000 guaranteed pick 4, and of course, ESPN will be on site. And you can see the World Thoroughbred Championships powered by Dodge, the Lady Secret, Sunday at 6 Eastern. Randy's bags are packed. For more information on that show, you can go to ESPN.com. And now we move to the East Coast, where things are just as busy as the fall championship meeting continues at Belmont Park, and a chance to see Mineshaft, who's pointing to the Gold Cup.
Yeah, all these big races will be on Saturday. Mineshaft, of course, the winner of the Suburban, the winner of the Woodward, in just very easy fashion. With Candy Ride out, Mineshaft now the favorite in the clubhouse, so to speak, for the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Now, Empire Maker, he missed the Travelers. I guess we'll find out what he's made of at the Gold Cup.
Yeah, and he was coughing a little bit earlier, so this race was in doubt for him, but now he's sort of made a comeback, and Empire Maker will be ridden by Jerry Bailey Saturday in his race against Mineshaft. Another horse in this race not to overlook, Dubai World Cup winner Moon Ballad, who might beat them both.
And the troubled Storming Home ready to go again after ditching Gary Stevens at the finish line in the Arlington Million.
It'll be a rematch between Storming Home and Suleimani, who was given the win by disqualification after the incident, of course, that injured Gary Stevens. Also in this race, Lunar Sovereign, the winner of the Man of War in his last start.
And Peeping Tom, he's no spring chicken. He's moving in on close to 40 career starts going into Rossburg.
Peeping Tom finished second in the Tom Fool. Great Notion will also be in this race. Great Notion finished second in the King's Bishop here in this race. Bobby Frankel will also have a horse in there called Ghost Zapper, who is not being prepped at this point for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Very competitive.
In the Flower Bowl, you can look for Heat Hayes.
Heat Hayes won the Beverly D in her last start for Bobby Frankel, and what a good race the Flower Bowl is going to be. Also, Snow Dance, Risk-Averse, Dress to Thrill, Dimitrova, Valzer Koonigan, all those horses going on the turf at Belmont Park Saturday.
And a horse that has been so impressive this summer, Perfect Drift, who is pointing toward the Hawthorne Gold Cup.
Even now with Candy Ride out of the Classic, Murray Johnson says, we are not going to the Breeders' Cup Classic. I don't understand it. He's beaten Mineshaft. There you see him beating Congaree easily. Why would they not be the Classic? Where's the owner in all this?
It's just not fair. Well, it is a very busy weekend. Racing at Arlington Park, Bay Meadows, Monmouth Park, Pimlico, and Turfway, all with graded stakes races there on Saturday. And at Hawthorne, the Hawthorne Gold Cup on Sunday. It is a great weekend to get off the couch and head to the track. Still ahead for us, our race of the week, plus Randy will answer some viewer mail.
This ESPN2 presentation of Long John Silver's Wire to Wire is brought to you by Long John Silver's. Boatloads of seafood are back. Citgo, we know you. NTRA.com, the official site of the NTRA and the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships. Equibase.com, your official online source for racing information, from entries to results and everything in between. Equibase.com is a service of Equibase Company, the thoroughbred industry's official database.
We'd love to see you again next week. We'll be here Tuesday at 2, and it will be a busy wire-to-wire. more information, you can go to ESPN.com. And now it's time to dig into the old viewer mailbag. And Amanda writes, why does a champion filly or mare like Azeri need to prove herself against the boys?
My opinion is that she really doesn't need to run against the boys to prove herself. I mean, it's pretty obvious already that Azeri is one of the best fillies or mares of all time. And the Breeders' Cup Distaff this year is not going to be a cakewalk. Bobby Frankel's going to come at her with Sight Seek and possibly Wild Spirit. So if she wins the Distaff again, she certainly won't back into it. But having said that, she's unlikely to be Horse of the Year again this year if a horse like Mineshaft, for example, goes on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Things to think about. Now we get to our race of the week, the Super Derby. 10 Most Wanted trying to follow up a pretty good winning performance in the Travers.
And 10 Most Wanted was pitted in the Super Derby against another late developing 3-year-old by the name of Soto, trained by Michael Dickinson. Figured to be a 2-horse race. It was.
And they're off in Super Derby 24. Taxi Cat comes out running for the lead, and so does Cool Humor. Soto is showing good early speed, and Zydeco Affair settles fourth as they pass the stands the first time. 10 Most Wanted is down at the rail in fifth, but only 3.5 off the pace, and Crown King is the early trailer. Taxi Cat leads by a neck, prompted by Cool Humor, who's right up alongside. The pace appears moderate in the early stages. 10 Most Wanted is just behind them, and Soto to the outside. The two favorites racing side by side with 6 furlongs to run. Zydeco Affair, 3.5 lengths off the pace. Crown King is at the back of a compact field. Onto the backstretch, Cool Humor on the outside and Taxi Cat. Soto in the clear now, third, just 2 lengths off the pacemakers. 10 Most Wanted has 5 to make up. He's being guided off the rail. Crown King is next, and Zydeco Affair. Cool Humor opens up 2 lengths as they head to the half-mile pole in Super Derby 24. Soto takes up the chase on the outside of Taxi Cat. 10 Most Wanted, 3.5 lengths off the pace. Crown King inside of him, and then it's Zydeco Affair. 3/8 of a mile to run. Cool Humor, Soto breezing up to him. And now 10 Most Wanted is asked to go after the top pair. Soto takes the lead. 10 Most Wanted is going after him. Cool Humor down at the rail is trying to hang tough. Then Zydeco Affair, Crown King, and Taxi Cat, they're at the top of the stretch. Soto and 10 Most Wanted square off. Soto has the record. 10 Most Wanted the reputation. These two brilliant 3-year-olds pass the 8 pole together. Soto's a very tough customer. 10 Most Wanted is up alongside. They're head and head in a Super Derby thriller. 10 Most Wanted takes the lead. 10 Most Wanted wins Super Derby 24.
Fresh off a win in the Midsummer Derby, the Travers 10 Most Wanted comes right back, wins the Grade 2 Super Derby. Pat Day won all 3 stakes races on the card Saturday at Louisiana Downs. The son of Deputy Commander has followed in his father's footsteps. Both won the Travers, both have won the Super Derby, both trained by Wally DeLassy. He's now bankrolled $1.5 million, and how cool was Pat Day down the stretch right
It looked like Pat Day was riding perfect drift. And I tell you what, this was a very impressive win by 10 Most Wanted for a couple of reasons. First of all, you saw the fractions go up there, 49-3 for a half mile. The track wasn't very fast at Louisiana Downs, but Soto's a nice horse, and Soto had an absolutely perfect trip, stalking in third. 10 Most Wanted had to run Soto down from behind. Soto was a relatively fresh horse, and you see just a hand ride by Pat Day. 10 Most Wanted will go next in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and don't overlook him against the likes of Mineshaft, Empire Maker, horses like that. He's an up-and-comer.
Another 3-year-old is peaking in the second half of the year. Can't believe it's already over. Man, you rest up, you have a big week. We'll see you next week on Long John Silver's Wire to Wire.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
To win the next